Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining us today. Like all sessions of Mindful Living, our session today is about improving the quality of life. And one aspect which adversely impacts the quality of life is the amount of stress that we have in our lives today. So much so that stress has become the default mode of our operation, of our being, of our functioning. And we don't even realize that we are stressed. I will share my own story how I first time realized that I'm stressed is when I went to my dentist, and my dentist told me, Ashish, you are grinding your teeth too much, and that's a function of it's caused by stress. That's when I realized that I am stressed, and I'm grinding my teeth and so on and so forth. So this become the default mode, and let's take a minute to understand some of the symptoms we may be experiencing, which are symptomatic of stress. So we are just sharing a poll here. Please respond to the poll. You can choose more than one reason, and then it'll. We have run this in our community, so we have some idea of what are the causes. But it'll be happy to hear from people who are on the session also. Vaishnavi, can you share the poll? So, have you witnessed any of these in the last week? You can choose more than one. Please type D in the chat once you have responded so that we can close the poll. Vaishnavi, how many responses have we got?
Four.
All right. Can you share the results?
Yes, so poor sleep has 25%, racing thoughts has 50%, irritability has
I can't
75%.
hear you very clearly, Vaishnavi.
Now, sir?
Can we see the poll on the screen?
Yes, we
Results?
can. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Are you not able to see, sir?
Can you hear Vaishnavi? Hmm.
I'll share
Please.
in the
Yeah, we
chat.
can hear. I mean, I can hear her.
Okay. Yeah, please go on.
I will share the poll results in chats.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, poor sleep, irritability, racing thoughts, low patience, headache, overthinking. Yeah, these. If you have any of these symptoms, it's the possible cause is stress, and then you're at the right time, at the right place, because that is what we are going to be discussing today. Thank you for sharing this poll with us, Vaishnavi. Um, and the sad part is that while 80% of the professionals experience work related stress, only 40% have strategies to deal with stress. And as a result, many a times we land up having coping mechanisms which are not very healthy. And I request you to play fastest finger first once again and respond to this poll. This is anonymous, so you can feel free to respond honestly. What is your coping mechanism for the stress? And you can have more than one. Vaishnavi, do we have the results now?
Yes, sir. Are you able to
So
see the?
binge watching 40%, junk food 20, drinking, smoking 20, anger is caused, stress. When we get stressed, we get angry. Withdrawal, and this is something which I would particularly like to draw your attention to in our families or at workplace. If you see somebody who's not participating actively, it may not be because he doesn't want to. It could be because he's stressed, and it becomes our responsibility to reach out to that person and pull them out. Talk to someone, breathe. Wow, I'm not surprised. This is a mindful living community, so breathing is ranks amongst the top ways, and exercising again a very powerful way of dealing with stress. So it's a mix of both healthy and unhealthy coping mechanism, praying very powerful, journaling, and others. So thank you, friends, for sharing that. These are some of the ways. Those who are already doing a healthy way of coping, you are in a good space. But those who are, who have a challenge there, could discover some of the things and get started with them. And we are not alone. The people, we are a small microcosm of the people in the world, but globally, stress is a major issue, and people are lonely. And this loneliness is not because you are away from people. You could be with people but still feel lonely. So one of my coaching clients told me that his son is always locked himself in the room. He even the food he takes from kitchen and goes into his room and eats. So even though we are with people, we are lonely, we are sad, we are angry. 15%, and this is 2019, 15% of the working age adults have a mental disorder. This is pre-COVID. Now you can imagine what would be the numbers today. That is one out of every seven person has some kind of mental disorder. And this has got a business issue. Today, what we are discussing about stress is not the well-being issue, which is, it causes diabetes, it causes hypertension. That's not the focus of our discussion today. Of course, there's a byproduct. When you are less stressed, your sugar will be better or your BP will be better. But it causes business, it has a serious business impact. And that is whether you are, for yourself or as a team leader, you should be cognizant of this. And WHO identifies some causes for stress, which are like excessive workload, uh, low job control, job insecurity. This is a major issue. I was speaking to somebody very senior in a bank, in a multinational bank, and he was sharing with me that Ashish, our manpower in India is 15,000 people, and we have a roadmap of reducing it to less than 7,000 in next 3 years. Imagine, where this kind of roadmap has been laid out, what kind of uncertainty it will create in the minds of everybody. It is not only those who are losing, but even those who are not losing, till they know whether I'm in or out, it causes a lot of uncertainty and a lot of stress as a result, and poor working conditions. I'll be happy to hear from you if there are any other causes, work-related causes that. Yes, sir.
Trump,
Sorry,
Trump.
Trump. Yes, of course, that's a major cause of stress. War, you know, tariffs in every which way. The environment is so uncertain, and we really don't know which way it will move, who will move with whom, and what will happen. So all of that is raw material for stress, and that is what we're going to be discussing today. For those of you who are attending a mindful living session for the first time, my name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. We started Mindful Living in 2018. Prior to that, I worked in the corporate sector for 25 years with companies like Xerox, Tata AIA, Future Generali, Marsh, HCL Healthcare, and Healthcare at Home. By education, I'm an MBA, cost accountant, fellow of Life Management Institute, a certified mindfulness meditation teacher, executive coach, coach to students of I am Nagpur, and author of a best-selling book, Beyond Limits. We started Mindful Living community during COVID, nearly 6 years ago in April 2020, when the first lockdown took place, and few of my friends reached out to me and requested me to conduct sessions to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the first lockdown was causing. So we conducted a session, one thing led to the other, and we are now we have conducted in last 6 years more than 250 sessions, all of which are available on our YouTube. So in case you would like to visit some of our content of the sessions we have done earlier, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or join our Mindful Living community to stay updated about the wonderful sessions that we do every week. Our session next week is about beliefs, a very powerful force in shaping our personal life and career trajectories. So how to identify our limiting beliefs, empowering beliefs, and use that to shape the life that we want. So we are having authors of this very wonderful book, Belief Busters, coming and talking to us next Saturday at 4:50 p.m. So details of this session will be available in the Mindful Living WhatsApp community, the QR code of which is shared here. We don't advertise about the work that we do, so the only way you can join our community is when somebody invites you to join. And here I am inviting you to join our community. It's a no-nonsense community, no good morning, good night messages, no political, religious posts, only people helping each other, to live consciously. Now we'll get started with our session. I request you to keep your cameras on and stay actively engaged with the session by using the reactions button. We will take question answers at the end. That's when you can raise your virtual hand and then we will pick up your questions. Please take notes. Don't believe what I am saying. We will do, we'll do a mindfulness session that will be good evidence for you. Please ensure you're not disturbed for next 60 odd minutes. Multitasking is a myth. It drops productivity. And what we're going to share here is something which will definitely help you. Now, friends, another question I would like to ask you is, what is the difference in the two fires that you see here? The one on my left and the one on right. What is the difference in these two fires that you see? You can unmute yourself and speak or type in the chat. Yes, Jyoti.
It's the first is productive and other is destructive.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So, it's productive and controlled. Okay, you can turn it up, down, and it can help you make food which nourishes everybody. And the one on the right can burn down everything that comes in its way. Okay. Similarly, when it comes to stress, if it is controlled, it leads to peak performance. But if it is out of control, it leads to burnout. So when it comes to stress, we need to understand, at what level are we? Are we engaged, productive, energetic, creative, or am I like drained and dying? What level of stress I am at, and that is how we. Typically when we think of stress, our first thought is, I don't want stress. The people come and tell me I don't want stress. No, it's not the issue about not wanting stress. It is issue of understanding what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and then use it accordingly. In our session today, we are going to understand what is stress, how to identify stress, because I mentioned earlier, it has become the default mode for us and we don't realize that we are stressed. What causes stress, and 3 strategies to be resilient and beat stress. So friends, let us understand what stress is. A lot of us think that stress is a psychological phenomena, which it is, but more than that, it is a physiological phenomena. It is our body's reaction to harmful situations, whether it is real or perceived threat. Even if the threat is perceived, not real, my body responds in the same way. And for this, I would like to take you through the history of human evolution, which spans about 6 million years. In 6 million years, it's only last 10,000 years we have kind of started settling down in villages and towns and cities. Before that, 59 lakh 90,000 years we were living in jungles. And we have a very old mind in a new body. Our mind, through these millions of years of evolution, still behaves in the same way it used to behave when it was in a jungle. Now, that threat in the jungle was an existential threat. Today, we don't have an existential threat. In the jungle, the threat was a lion will come, tiger will come, poisonous snake will come, bear will come, something will come and attack you, and we can lose our life. But today, we don't have that situation. But when we see an angry boss or spouse or client, our body responds in the same way. And typical response the body has is fight or flight. So think of it in terms, if I'm seeing a wild animal, either I fight, which means the heart needs to pump blood into my hands, or flight, which means it will pump blood into my legs so that I can run away fast from there. But essentially the heart has to pump faster. My breath becomes shallow, heart pumps faster, and my blood pressure rises. Now today, there is no animal, so the animal is not going to go away. So imagine 12 hours at workplace, you have boss as that wild animal or client or somebody else, and at home it could be parent, sibling or spouse. So 24 hours we are exposed to that perceived threat, and our heart is constantly pounding and pumping blood, which leads to more burning of energy, heart pressure and stuff like that, body tension, headaches and so many other problems that we discussed about. One more thing which we need to understand is, by looking at this diagram, that when we are stressed, our ability to think shuts down. Now normally the way the information is processed in our brain is like 50% of the inputs to our brain is through our visual sense. So from our eyes it goes to thalamus, then it goes to occipital lobe, and then it comes to amygdala, which is like the air traffic controller in an airport. So it regulates all the movements of airplanes. So like that, amygdala regulates the movement of all of our body parts. But when there is when there is a threat, there is a short circuit. There is no time to process, do the logical processing. So the shortcut happens from thalamus to amygdala, and the information goes and the shortcut takes place, and then we are ready to act. So there is no time to think whether this lion is well fed, it's not going to attack, or this snake, maybe 95% of snakes are non-venomous, this one may be non-venomous. All that time is not there. Either you run, fight, or whatever you want to do. This is how we have survived over the years. This is how we have protected ourselves. And this is how our body is attuned. So we need to understand that today we don't have that survival threat. We are well taken care of, and down regulate the stress symptoms, and that is what we are going to be discussing as we go along. Also, we need to understand that the stress means different things to different people. Let me ask you, how many of us here are afraid of cockroach? If you are afraid of cockroach, please type me in the chat box. If you are not, it is okay. But if you are, then type me. Okay, so one response. Okay, fair enough. Is how many of us are afraid of lizards? Please type me if you are afraid of lizards. Okay, some more responses, right? If it's big, okay, me, right? How many of us are afraid of dogs, either pet dogs or street dogs? Yes, right? So what we see here is, it's not the same thing which is, stressing us out. Somebody gets stressed out looking at cockroaches, somebody gets stressed out looking at lizards, somebody gets stressed out looking at dogs, street dogs, big dogs, small dogs, different things. Similarly, stress is we all get stressed by different things. So somebody comes and says, I have this problem, I have this finance problem, and you will say, Arey, what is this? ये इससे कोई stress करना है? We dismiss it, and there we negate the experience. Or somebody says, I'm having this relation. Oh, what is this? Look at my problem. We all have our own problems, but when somebody is coming and talking to us about stress, we need to understand that it is his situation and it is his stress, and we need to acknowledge that and be sensitive to that, right? As I mentioned earlier, some stress is good, some is bad, and we also need to understand acute and chronic stress. So acute stress is when you see the animal goes away, the stress goes away. Chronic stress is like having boss at home and husband or spouse at home. So 24 hours, boss at workplace and spouse at home. So 24 hours, chronic stress, and that is what drains us down and completely, the energy, it sucks away our energy. So now coming to the next part about understanding how we are stressed. And stress is not something which happens to weak people. The best of us get stressed. Now, Arjun is considered to be one of the finest warriors who has ever walked on Mother Earth. And see, when he is in this situation, in today's time, it could be a situation like making a presentation to the board or making a presentation to the client. What is Arjun saying? My whole body is trembling. My mouth is dry. My hair are standing on their end. My palms are sweaty and my Gandhi is slipping. This is the stress response which Arjun has got, and he's not even fighting enemies. He's fighting his brothers and cousins. So this is the stress response which we have, and it is important for us to tune into this whenever we have a symptom like this, or we have somebody in our team or in our family who has a symptom like this. Understand them and help them practice some of the coping mechanisms we're going to talk about. Clenched jaw, grinding teeth is what I mentioned earlier. Upset stomach, irritable bowel syndrome, headaches, chest pain, rapid heartbeat, insomnia, frequent colds, infections, nervousness, tinnitus, cold or sweaty hands, dry mouth, difficulty swallowing. Now all this is science. This is not my creation. This is what science is saying. So please pay attention to this. Skin rashes, all of this. And then we have emotional symptoms of stress, which is what we also discussed earlier: agitation, frustration, snapping at people. Somebody says something, you just snap. Moody, overwhelmed, too much to do, difficulty and relaxing and quieting your mind. So one of my coaching clients came and said, Ashish, even when I'm sleeping, my mind is constantly working, and when I get up in the morning, it feels like I never slept, I'm not fresh. Feeling bad about yourself, low self-esteem, worthlessness, depression, avoiding others. And cognitive symptoms: constant worrying, racing thoughts, forgetfulness, disorganization. I was, once also coaching some students of UPSC who were preparing for UPSC, and one of the students who was repeating was shared with me that when in the previous year he had gone for appearing for the exam, he forgot to take his admit card, and by the time he reached the center and realized he has forgotten to take his admit card, time was gone. So he lost that year just because he was so stressed about the exam that he forgot to take his admit card. And this is stuff like that happens to us all the time. We are going for meetings. One of my friends, we recently did a session in Dubai, and my co-trainer forgot to take his passport. When he landed at the airport, he realized he is not carrying his passport. So stuff like that happens. Inability to focus. And so these are the different symptoms that we need to be cognizant of. I'll just pause here to see if this is making sense, and if you have any questions or comments before we move on to the next part. Any questions or comments, anyone? Or if it is making sense, please type MS in the chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So then we'll move on, and thank you. We will see what are the causes of stress. And I'll request Vaishnavi, please pull out that poll. And as I mentioned earlier, this is completely confidential. We only see the results, we don't see who has voted what. So let us see what are some of the top causes of stress. Health is a major cause, and health is also our own health. And sometimes it is the health of our near and dear ones. Finance is a major cause of stress. This is what survey after survey points out. Business and career, this has become a big uncertainty in today's times with this war and AI and so many other things. Relationships with spouses, colleagues, children. Bereavement and separation used to be a big one during COVID times. Politics, of course, we just spoke about it, and too much to do. So thank you very much for everybody for voting this. This gives us a good idea. And one root cause of the stress, of course, is that our wanting that things should be different than what they are. This is the root cause of stress. When things go our way, we are happy. So if I come go take my car out and drive, there is no signal, no red signal, I can reach Bombay in 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm very happy. But if there is signal, there is tanker which has broken down, or if the flights are not taking off like Indigo, or now because the gas is also become a problem, and we don't know how many months or weeks or days we will have gas at our home. So much uncertainty, we it stresses us out. कार के लिए पेट्रोल मिलेगा कि नहीं, कुकिंग के लिए गैस मिलेगी कि नहीं, and then so on and so forth, and we get all stress. And our constant endeavor is to control the outcome, control the way things are. Whereas the best way to deal with stress is to accept things as they are. And in any given situation, focus on things that we can influence. And I would like to share a story with you to illustrate this. If you would like to hear a story, please type S in the chat box. Please, yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Only 2 people want to hear this story. Yes, Palak, thank you. So, some of you may have heard this story earlier or read about it in my book, but for those it will be a repetition. But for those who have not listened to this story, please enjoy this. This is about a female deer who is pregnant and full term, and she needs to deliver her baby like right now. Okay, and she's in a forest, and her situation is that she's got a hunter with bow and arrow on her left side, a hungry lion on her right side, and in front of her is a jungle which is where the fire is raging, and behind her is a river which is flooded, right? So she's got danger on all the sides. Hunter on one side, fire on the front, hungry lion on the right, and flooded river. So she can't go anywhere, and she needs safety to bring her child into this world. Please pause for a second and reflect on her situation. And what would be your guidance to her? There is no right or wrong answer, but what would be your guidance to her? What should she do? If we were in her situation, what would we do? When there is danger on all sides, how do you give birth to your child? You can raise your virtual hand or unmute and share. What comes to you? It's not about being right or wrong, but what comes to you on what should the deer do? Just pray and deliver. Thank you, Viniji. Move towards the hunter. Others not. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. While we are reflecting on, what the deer could do, also reflect on her state of mind. How would her state of mind be in this situation? Imagine her pressure to deliver the baby. Her body is ready to deliver, and she is surrounded by danger. What would be her state of mind? Can you share some words to describe her state of mind? Jyoti, Palak, Kalyani.
Anxious.
Anxious. Okay. Omkar, Naveen ji.
Pretty afraid.
Fearful. Yeah. Sorry. Horrified. Yeah. So, okay. All of this is correct. Now there is only one thing which is in deer's control. What is that? Lie down. Yeah. Where- State of mind. Very true, Naveen ji. There is prey. Very nice. There is only one thing that the deer has control over, which is to, thank you, Palak, which is to deliver the baby. Okay. That's the only thing which is in her control. She can't do anything about the hunter or the lion or the fire or the flood. And the minute she takes that decision that I'll deliver my baby now, there is a loud thunder in the sky, and the hunter gets startled, and the bow gets released, uh, and that bow kills the lion. And because of the thunder, there is rain, which quells the fire, and suddenly the deer is free to go. The hunter walks away because he had only one arrow. He doesn't have any other arrow, so he can't kill. So he walks away. The lion is killed. The fire is quelled, and she delivers. Female deer delivers her baby. Now reflect in our lives. Have we similarly felt trapped like the deer? You know, the fire, the hunter, the lion, the flood are symbolic. You know, it could be your wife on one hand or spouse on another hand, like wife, husband, or boss. Then client also shouting, and your children also complaining something, or any other situation, because trouble doesn't come alone, it loves company. So have you ever felt trapped in a situation like this, when one or more things didn't go your way and you were feeling trapped? And is there, reflect on the situation, take a couple of minutes and reflect on that situation, see if there is something you could have done differently. Was there something, when everything in your life was going wrong, was there something that you had control over, even if it was a teeny weeny little bit thing? Did you have some control over that, and you could have acted, and maybe things could have been different? Please pause for 2 minutes, reflect on any such situation in your life, or in uh, your family members or colleagues, anybody face this dire situation. When nothing seems to be going right, is there something we could have done, or was there something which we had control over. Either in the past or currently, if you're facing any situation. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, do what we can do, and we can leave the outcomes. Anybody would like to share anything, any realization that came up for them? So, if not now, you can reach out to me directly, or you know, um, ponder on it and see what works out for you. And this is the stuff that leaders are made of, you know. And the first strategy to beat the stress in any situation, irrespective of what the cause is, to control the controllable. And you may think that this dear story is a fantasy, it may not be true in life or in business situation. And I would like to share with you two cases. One of Michael Phelps, you know, in 2008 Olympics in China, when he was in the final race, his goggles malfunctioned, and you know, water entered his goggles and it blinded him completely. Now this is the final race, final lap, and there is hardly anything you can do in that situation. You can't stop the race. You can't call your coach to come and change the goggles for you. You know, it's malfunctioned in the finals. The only control you have over the situation is to continue swimming, right? You can Google, all of this is research based, you can Google it. So that's the only thing which he could do, and he continued swimming. Even though he was blinded, he continued swimming, and he won that race. He won gold medal. He finished that race ahead of anybody else. So this is another example of when things go wrong at the critical times, how focusing on what you can control, even whatever little it is, it makes a huge difference. Another very powerful story is is that of Chris Gardner, who is the man behind the movie Pursuit of Happiness. In the film, that is character is played by Will Smith. This, what I'm sharing with you, is not there in the film, but this is there in one of the interviews of Chris Gardner. Have you seen Pursuit of Happiness? Please type yes if you have seen the movie. Otherwise, I'll briefly share context of what the movie is about. Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. Have you seen the movie? Padma Kumar has. Okay. So this is about a guy, single father. A very inspiring story. Please do watch this movie based on true life of Chris Gardner. And he's homeless, and one day he does not get a destitute home to spend the night. So every day he has to go and look for a place where he can sleep with his son. One day they don't get a place to sleep anywhere, so he sleeps in the toilet in a metro station. Okay. And this is not there in the movie, but in an interview, Chris Gardner says, I'm sorry, I'm choking a little. He says, that night I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, if I can get myself into this situation, I can get myself out of this situation. Right? So irrespective of how hopeless you are, how hopeless the situation is, if you can take charge of what you can do in that situation, then you can, you can beat any situation. So from a destitute, homeless person, then the movie and his life also changes. He gets a job, then he launches his own brokerage firm, and eventually he sells that brokerage firm for $200 million, which is like 1800 crores rupees in today's time. So imagine a homeless person becoming. So this controlling the controllable is not just a story from the jungle. It has business stories also. It has sports also. All the champions are always focused on what they can do. There are different ways you can deal with stress, which we discussed: exercise, music, playing, all that. But that you can get even when you Google. If you Google how to beat stress, it will tell you 10 things: do yoga, do this, do that. But they won't tell you that control the controllable. That is the difference that we bring in our sessions, and that is the program that we have put together for you, which I'll share with you, where we share these practical strategies to deal with stress. The second strategy to deal with stress is to be mindful. And when the ship is in turbulent waters, what it does is it drops anchor to stabilize itself. The turbulence doesn't go away, but ship is rooted, and the movements become less. Earlier it could have just gone anywhere here there, but with anchor dropped, it's more stable. Similarly, our mind is very turbulent. There is so much stimulus to the mind going all the times, and we need a anchor for the mind, and that anchor is our breath. So, in next 10 odd minutes, we will do a mindfulness practice where we will anchor our attention to the breath, and then explore how it helps us deal with stress. So before we start this practice, I would like you to do this self-assessment of how stressed are you feeling right now. If you are highly, highly, highly stressed, then maybe mark yourself 10. You don't need to give you the answer in the chat, just mark it for yourself. Note it down in a pad or make a mental note. Or if you're completely stress-free, it's 0, or it could be anywhere in between. Make a note of how stressed you're feeling, and then we will start our practice of mindfulness by paying attention to our breath. I'll invite you to sit straight with your back and neck in a straight line, straight but not stiff, chin parallel to the ground, gentle smile on your face, eyes gently closed, and bring your attention to the area at the entrance of your nostrils, and observe every breath that is coming in and moving out. Incoming breath, outgoing breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath. Just observe your breath as it is. This is not an exercise in regulating your breath. We are just observing our breath as it is. It may be deep or shallow. Coming in from the right nostril or the left nostril or both the nostrils. Just observe as it is. It is possible that you may find that your mind wanders. initially. And wandering of the mind is not a mistake, it is its nature. Every time you find that your mind has wandered away, gently, with patience, with compassion, bring it back to focus on your breath once again. We normally breathe about 25,000 times in a day, but we hardly pay any attention to how we are breathing. This is our opportunity to enjoy the juicy, delicious breaths. Using our breath is a great way to root our attention in the present moment. The past is gone, the future is yet to come. All we have got is this present moment. And in this present moment, there are infinite possibilities. Continue to breathe. Like a watchman keeps an eye on everybody who is coming in and going out. Be alert and observe every breath that is coming in and moving out. Incoming breath, outgoing breath. Continue to breathe. In couple of seconds from now, we'll come to the end of this practice. Continue to breathe. before the end of this practice, consider setting an intention that this practice of mindfulness will help you and everybody you come in contact with to become stress-free and happier. Thank you for practicing mindfulness with me. You may choose to keep your eyes closed for a couple of seconds more and stay with the feeling. And when you are comfortable, you may open your eyes gently and share your experience with us. Also, use this time to assess yourself on what is your stress score now and what is the reduction. You please only share the reduction with us. Thank you, Vinny. What is the drop that you have experienced? What is the difference in your stress score? You can unmute and speak or type in the chat. Mm. Yeah.
I have a question. Can I ask now or later on?
Yeah, please.
So, when you say observe your breaths, what exactly that mean? Because we can just feel the air going through.
Yeah. Observe your breath at the entrance of the nostrils as it
Yeah.
is coming in and as it is moving out.
And then the thoughts, basically the mind wanders here and there, right? And then I have very weird, destructive thoughts. I'm afraid of that thoughts itself. So my anxiety is about thoughts. My stress is about thoughts, which I can't control.
So
The moment
we're not
I
trying to
close my
control.
eyes, the thoughts start racing. I'm like, dude, I'd rather open my eyes and see here and there.
Yeah, we are not trying to control the thoughts. Controlling thoughts is very difficult. Uh, Observing is a better way to deal with them. So we observe that they're going, coming, and every time our mind wanders, use breath as an anchor. Uh, it's like how ship drops an anchor. We are, using breath as an anchor. Anybody on that reduction in score? Padma, Palak, Kalyani, Naveen ji, what's the reduction in score you got? Three-point improvement. Yeah, so 3 points is like 30%. You know, 30% reduction in stress with a 7-minute practice. So that's the power of this practice. So what we have covered so far is two strategies. One is always staying focused on what we can control in any situation, and working on that, taking charge, being resilient, controlling. not wondering, not being a victim, but being a victor. That the female deer is not thinking, why it is happening to me, why am I in this situation, but doing whatever you can do in that situation. And the second is practicing mindfulness, so that we can reduce our stress, as we saw that there is 30%. And this is across, I've been doing this for over 8 years, and people from across the world join. The reduction is like 20 to 40% with a 10-minute practice. Today we just did 7 minutes only. uh, so this is what we have just, what we have covered is just tip of the iceberg. And the third strategy is to dive deep into the Stress to Smiles program that we have put together for you, which will really help you embed the habits which can beat stress, develop a system which works for you, rather than randomly wondering what it is happening to me. It will help you deal with workplace stress, toxic environments, high pressure situations, um, and be resilient. And how it will help is become more self-aware and recognize trigger. Like I mentioned, the trigger for stress for different people could be different things. It could be relationships, it could be uncertainty in the economic environment, finances, deadlines, thoughts. So what is the trigger? Identifying what is my personal trigger, and what are my stress symptoms. We discussed a lot of physical, emotional, cognitive stress symptoms. Developing that awareness, the patterns, and what do I do? Like we said, there are different coping mechanisms, healthy and unhealthy. So what do I do? Which is about the emotional regulation, the ability to pause, think of anger management, think of smoking, drinking, pausing in that moment. And pausing is not escaping, and pausing is not also being dumb. It's just pausing for a couple of seconds and choosing choosing to do what you are doing consciously, rather than just operating out of automatic programs that have been conditioned. A reduction in emotional hijack. Uh, this is so typical. Whenever we are triggered, we just act in very suboptimal ways, and many people have stories to tell about what happened when they acted, when they were emotionally hijacked. Stress, the breath work that we did, healthy coping mechanisms, reflecting, pause, well-being. How do you sleep? The sleep quality gets better. Many people sleep in these 10 minutes only. Calmness, focus, your ability to focus, do deep work, have better energy, have more patience in control. And how do you build all of this into a structure that works for you is what the outcome of this program would be. And there are 4 modules. We start by understanding what is stress, some of which we have done today. Understanding how mindfulness can help us. Like Omkar had a lot of questions about mindfulness. So, understanding mindfulness, how it helps us. What are some myths that prevent us from practicing mindfulness? Recognizing personal stress triggers. Understanding train of negative thoughts. This is something which is very important. That our thoughts are magnetic in nature, and if I'm thinking a negative thought, the next thought will always be a negative thought, and the next one will always be a negative, so it becomes like a train of negative thoughts. So it is important for us to be mindful and pause and reframe that thought with a positive one, so that we can break that pattern and take charge of our thinking. So understanding this train of negative thoughts, reframing, and being aware. We will begin by doing an assessment so that we know where we are starting and where we are going. Guided reflections, awareness exercises, trigger tracker worksheet, and mindfulness practices. The second session will be about the mind-body connection. How by tuning into our body, we can anticipate the, like when we start getting angry or stressful, the responses in the body. My heart is pounding, my face is flushed with blood, it becomes red, my ears are red, my hands, my blood is being pumped into my. So that tuning into the body helps me understand stress better and take charge before it goes to the head and I do something which is, or say something which is not appropriate. So that awareness, using, practicing the pause, managing the emotional hijacks, anger, anxiety, overwhelm, and how to move from reaction to response, using guided breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, case studies. So this is what we do in the second session. And in the third session, it is a lot about the energy audit. Where is our energy going? Because stress is a low energy situation to be in. Identifying where my energy is leaking, so understanding that, plugging those energy leaks, avoiding the three traps which are there, blaming, complaining, rationalizing, which lead to loss of energy and living in a victim mindset, work-life balance, time management. All of this we cover in the session 3. And the module 4 is about how do we build habits to integrate all of this into our personal life, so that it stays with you. It becomes a second nature for you, and you are not only going away with theory, but you're leaving the program with practical habits, with habits that have been built in and will last you for a lifetime. It's all very practical, and I hope you will take this opportunity to join this program, which can help you move your life into a virtuous upward spiral. Um, there are 4 sessions that we're going to do, each of 1.5 hours each. So the investment of time is about 6 hours. And in case you are interested in pursuing this program, you can drop a message, one, in the chat, if you're interested in joining and you would like to have more information, and 2, if you're not interested in joining, so that we won't bother you. Everybody who joins the program will get a mindful living certificate of completion. We do this workshop only once in a year. We have an annual calendar. So in fact, Padma was asking, why have we scheduled this? So this is a part of our annual calendar. So the next Stress to Smiles workshop will be in March 2027. So don't wait for a year to do, because this is something, as I mentioned earlier, impacts many areas of our life without even our realizing. It's only when I started working on these areas I realized how deep the impact is and how much better it gets when we are not stressed. We can enjoy our life fully, enjoy our relationships fully. You get the juice out of the life rather than just rushing through it mindlessly and missing on the small fun and joys which are there. And everybody who joins till next Saturday, which is 14th, we offer this personally signed copy by me of this Beyond Limits book, which is a compilation of short stories, including the one which I shared with you in the session today. We have only 2 open seats. We are already a cohort of 18 people. We don't intend to go beyond 20. Because these are live sessions that I deliver, and these are very practical with a lot of exercises in the session and in between the session class, the homework also. So we only 2 spots remain for us to offer. You can reserve your seat today by remitting a fees of 963 rupees, and the balance can happen when you have more details. And our life is defined by the opportunities, even the one we miss. So I urge you to not miss this opportunity and reserve your seat and take your life to a completely different level. So on that note, I'll pause and I will open the session up for any questions, comments, takeaways that you may want to share. Thank you. Thank you. Please take a moment to reflect on what we have discussed in the session and share with us. That will help you integrate um, your learning into your life, and we'll invite you to share your takeaways and bring the session to a close. What have been your one or two takeaways from the session today? Surely, Omkar. Naveen ji, Kalyani, Vineet. Thank you. Yeah, very nice. Very powerful. Yeah. Thank you, Naveen ji. Yeah, very nice. Usually, when we become calm ourselves, we won't stress out others also. So the inner reflects the outer. Yeah. So thank you. Very beautiful. Uh, so thank you everybody for joining us in the session today and participating actively. Have a wonderful weekend. Chill out, enjoy, be calm, peaceful, and join us same time, not same time, 4:50 p.m. next Saturday for a session on Belief Busters, where we're going to invite the authors of this wonderful book to share their experiences of how beliefs impact our personal, professional lives. Thank you. Thank you very much.